Achilles in love with a slave girl in the Iliad? The relationship between Achilles and Briseis in the Iliad is an important element of the epic, and it plays a significant role in the unfolding of the story. Briseis was a Trojan woman who became a war prize when the Greeks, led by Achilles, sacked her city. She's awarded to Achilles as part of the spoils of war, which is a common practice in ancient warfare, and in this sense she's considered his property, and her status is that of captive. The conflict surrounding Briseis begins when Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek army, is forced to return his own war prize, a woman named Chryseis, due to a plague inflicted by the god Apollo. To compensate him for his loss, Agamemnon demands Briseis from Achilles, effectively taking her away from him. This demand by Agamemnon is a significant affront to Achilles' honour and pride, and he goes on to have quite the sook about it. Achilles was deeply attached to Briseis, and her removal from his possession is a severe blow to his sense of honour and his dignity. His reaction to Agamemnon's demand is intense anger, and he pretty much stomps his feet and refuses to fight for the Greek army any longer. And Achilles' withdrawal from the battlefield wasn't a good thing and results in a series of tragic events and dire consequences for the Greek forces. But back to the initial question, did Achilles love this slave girl? It's a complicated question. And that's because the character of Briseis isn't a simple one. She's the woman who caused Achilles to withdraw, and therefore is also linked to the death of Patroclus. And in fact, when Patroclus is struck down, she's said to fall down weeping over his body because his death reminds her of her own husband, and it was Achilles who killed her husband. And she also mentions that it was Patroclus who was always kind to her. But then we're also told in the Iliad that there was talk of a wedding between Achilles and Briseis, and it wasn't like presented as a forced marriage. They were both okay with the idea. Like when Achilles went to Agamemnon to ask for her back, he refers to her as his wife or his bride, depending on the translation. So their connection is marked by Achilles' strong attachment to her, his sense of injustice at her being taken away, and his deep emotional turmoil at her loss. So overall, in an attempt to make this video not too long, whilst the relationship is primarily portrayed as one of captor and captive, with Briseis being taken as a war prize by Achilles, there are moments in the epic that suggest a deep emotional connection between them, characterized more by a mutual respect and sympathy, which we can also potentially interpret as romantic love.